Alright, here we are. Well, thank you for joining me. This is my Freddy Fazbear Pinata that I made for the Five Nights at Freddy's birthday challenge for my daughter Anya, the little girl in the video prior to this. And I would like to show you how I made it. I did make a earlier version of this, but it sucked so bad I had to redo it and recap on everything. So here I am. As you can see, I had drone, is that the I drew a picture. I drew a picture of Freddy Fazbear, and I did it so I can get the dimensions correctly. Like the face would be square, the height would be fine, and I took a box, top of a box, and drew the face on there. So the eyes are where they're supposed to be, the cheeks are where they're supposed to be, the hat is. Now you don't have to do this, or you can do this if you're going to do what I did, which is paste the picture of Freddy Fazbear on top of the box. You can cut it out and just lay it down on there and draw around that and make the the outline of the height and width of Freddy Fazbear's head for the pinata. The height is 21 inches, or 21 and a half inches, and the width is 18 inches, and the thickness, which is the folds of this box, is what I used. That is 3 inches. So I have excuse me, I have actually two boxes. I have this box with the picture on front, or on top of it, and then I have another box underneath it. And I think what I'm doing now is actually telling you the same thing what I'm saying now in this video, but because it sucked so bad, I have to do it again. Okay, so there is, let's just say that the Freddy Fazbear drawing is the positive and beneath it will be the negative. Not that that actually is true. We're just cutting out the shape. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to cut out the shape. I suggest you get a very sharp utility knife. I have a utility knife in my hand. It has a new blade. Get a new blade. As you can see, I taped the drawn Freddy Fazbear's cardboard box or cardboard on top of everything that I'm working on. I have that longer sheet that's sticking out on the side. That's the negative, if you will, the one that's going to be the bottom of his face. And then beneath that is an extra piece of cardboard that I'm using, so when I cut through, I don't chop up my table there. You do have to push a little hard, but it actually is rather simple. I used kind of a sawing motion. You're going to have to do that, probably due to its thickness. So make sure you stabilize everything with tape and go ahead and cut away. Just chop around the ears, and if you do make a little bit of a mistake, it's okay. It's not the end of the world, because you're going to cover the whole thing up with masking tape, which is the same tape that I'm pinning down the face with those and the other cardboard boxes. But make sure you have everything secure. Once again, that's very, very important, because you can see I'm really moving it around, and yeah, it will You will mess up a lot if you don't have it pinned down. Alright. Okay, so now we're putting the lip on, as you can see. And if I look like I'm very haggard and sweaty, it's because it was like 1,000 degrees outside and I hadn't shaved in a few days. But enough about me. Let's move on to what we're doing here. And as you can see, what I found is when you take those edges, right, the original edges of the cardboard box top that I was using, I found that if you roll them first, into like a ball, you know, or as if you were rolling up toothpaste, that it actually is much easier to maneuver around the face and the head. Then all you need to do after that is just tape it on. Just, you know, put it on there, follow the contour of the face, and just tape. And it's really just that simple. So now that you've done one side and have the whole border, it's 3 inches like I said before, you just put the top on and tape that side together. And you know, the thing is that cardboard is very flexible, and the tape it's kind of like a nail. If you want to look at it that way, you can bend it and stick it and it'll stay in that place. So the bad thing about what I drew here is that I'm not going to see it later after I put all the tape on it, but at least I have an idea of what I'm doing, and the face came out actually pretty decent. Or the shape of the face came out pretty decent. So as you can see, I mummified the whole thing by using masking tape. I didn't go crazy. I didn't go that crazy with it. I just put enough on there to hold it in place. But overall it's very solid and it's nice. So now on to the next step, which is spray painting it. I thought that spray painting it brown and putting, as you can see, the silly face on there, it just gives me a guide as to where everything's going to go and how it's going to look. But spray painting it brown is going to help me later, because I gotta say, they don't sell brown tissue paper. I went everywhere looking for it, and I found something that was a little bit lighter than brown, than the brown that you see here. Now on to the face and putting on the tissue paper. Now, like I said, I couldn't find brown, and this is the closest to brown that I could find, and it's really not super light tissue paper actually. It's pretty thick stuff. I don't know what it is. You can see that there are some marks on the Freddy Fazbear's face, and that is through a glue stick that I tried to add just to cover the seams with, because they were kind of peeling forward. As you can see, I printed the face, so let me tell you how I did that. I used a program, and it was free, and it was called Razor, and basically what it does is that you can, it cuts up the picture into 8 by 12 sheets, your regular printer sheets. So the good thing is that you can do that, and you don't have to go out to Staples or someplace and buy a really big photograph of Freddy Fazbear, and you can do it at home. Bad thing is it kills your ink, so it really was not cost effective. But overall, I would have to say this whole pinata probably cost about $5. Probably not even that. the cardboard was free, the tape was $1. The paper, the tissue paper, whatever that stuff really is, was only, I don't know, maybe $2. Freddy Fazbear's face, I don't know, it sucked up a lot of ink. I'm gonna throw in $2. All right, so we're looking at maybe $6, $7 altogether. And I didn't, as you know, I didn't keep the colors of the tissue paper this color. I actually spray painted it the brown, like how the ears are, and then I made the hat black. Okay, another thing that I wanted to tell you is how do you do the tissue paper? Tissue paper, you cut it into strips. Now I fortunately have one of those boards where you can line it up and it chops the paper, and I did that. And then once you get it into strips, I took scissors and fluffed it. Basically, and that really took a long time, sitting there just doing little tiny cuts along these long strips of tissue paper, which I eventually had to paint over anyway. Now during the party, you're going to see that Freddy Fazbear is going to look a lot better than this, because nothing really dried yet once it was done, and I went back and did a few more touch-ups. But this is really how you did it. It just came to me like as an epiphany. I just realized how difficult can making a pinata be. And doing Freddy Fazbear. Now I actually was going to make his face. That was my initial approach. But then I said, you know what, I'm going to cheat because I don't have enough time. I am limited on the time to make this. So Freddy is basically complete now, aside from spray painting him. And what I'm demonstrating there is that once you glue the strip down, which I used Elmer's glue. I actually used my daughter's sparkling Elmer's glue. I don't know why, just because it was available. You can't use a glue stick. Super glues would be overkill. Just use simple glue, because you're going to have to play with it a little bit too, and you want the ability to do that in the event that you have to readjust how it's sitting on the pinata. So basically, once you get it on there, you let it dry. You just put all the sheets in a row and you let it dry, and then you bend them forward, and then you go in like a barber and you just snip, 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 and you just keep going and going and going until that whole thing gets fluffy. And that's what you're looking for. Now, as you can see in that close-up of Freddy's eye, yes, it's a little uneven, his left eye there, but trust me, you're never going to see it once it's complete. Okay, now here he is in all of his glory. It took me a couple of days to do this. It wasn't like a one-day project because, A, putting on the little fluffy stuff, the tissue paper, really took a long time, and I was also planning other parts of the party. But you spray paint the inside of the ears black, you spray paint the hat black, and of course I spray painted the outside of him, all of his fur, to make it a darker brown, and that's about it. So there you go, folks. Freddy Fazbear, his head just sitting in a chair. You can do it. Anybody can do this. You can do it. You can make either Freddy Fazbear or Bunny or Chica or whoever you want. And it doesn't even have to be that. It can be anybody else. Just get out the shape. You can even, hey, you know, if you really creative, and I might even do this for my son's birthday or just for Halloween or something, you can make a life-size version of a action hero that the kids might like to beat the crap out of. So these are things to think about. And guys, I know you can do it. I did it. It's super duper easy, and I hope you can do it. And when you do it, do me a favor, send it to me. Let me see a picture of it. Leave something in the comments below and stay with me on this journey because it's really awesome. We're going to I am going to make the pizzeria out of cardboard and paint, and I want you to see it. I also put a video together for my daughter and the kids to watch. I might film the whole thing. I'm not sure, but I'm definitely showing you how I'm doing stuff step by step, and this is one of the first steps, was making the piñata. It's a good sized piñata. Like I said, it's 21 and a half feet. No, it's not that big. It's 21 and a half inches high and 18 inches wide and 3 inches deep or thick. So you can put a lot of delicious candy in there for your loved ones. So anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully hear from you. And please pass this along to anybody who would be interested in making a piñata. It's very easy, very, very simple. All right, have a great day and keep dreaming. I don't know, I just added that. How's it sound? That should be my tagline. Keep dreaming. You tell me. Thanks.